Oklahoma's own News on 6 starts now with breaking news.
Julius gets to wake up tomorrow morning.
The feeling of a miracle made manifest.
If anybody would take the time to really study the facts, then they would know that there is no doubt that Julius Jones is guilty. I want it to end for our family.
There's a reason, and I trust God, I trust the process.
Oklahoma is in the national spotlight tonight as Governor Kevin Stitt commutes the death sentence for Julius Jones 4 hours before that scheduled execution. Thanks for joining us. I'm Lori Fulbright.
And I'm Craig Day. News on 6 has live team coverage with a reaction from across the state. We begin with News on 6's Reagan Ledbetter live outside the Oklahoma State Penitentiary in McAllister. Reagan?
Craig and Lori, this wasn't the decision Paul Howe's family was hoping for. They wanted justice and the sentence to be carried out. But they say they are thankful Julius Jones will still be spending the rest of his life in prison. Now, Paul Howe was shot to death in his parents' driveway in 1999 in front of his two small children and his sister. Now, Jones was convicted of the crime in 2002 and sentenced to death. Now, Governor Kevin Stitt made the decision to commute Jones' sentence to life in prison without parole, just 4 hours before he was scheduled to be executed. Now, the Howe family says, "We know Governor Stitt had a difficult decision to make. We take comfort that his decision affirms the guilt of Julius Jones." Now, Jones' family tells us they are relieved and they believe God answered their prayers of keeping Julius alive, but they believe Jones shouldn't be in prison at all.
Somebody has to pay. Well, that somebody should be the right person.
Come on now.
Not an innocent life.
Now, Jones' family says although Jones won't be eligible to apply for parole, they'll continue to fight for him and others they believe are innocent on death row. Live in McAllister, Reagan Ledbetter, Oklahoma's own News on 6.
Before Governor Stitt commuted Jones's sentence, dozens of protesters gathered around the outside of the prison in McAllister. News on 6's Grant Stevens has a look at what it was like the moment that crowd learned Jones would not be executed. Grant?
Craig, in the blink of an eye, the protesters' mood flipped from somber and apprehensive to pure joy. Some were even moved to tears when they got the news.
Today is a good day.
Yes. Thank you, Father God. We're overjoyed. This is what we wanted. This is what we came for. Hallelujah!
Julius Jones!
For a few minutes, the crowd cheered and chanted Jones' name in celebration. One of the protesters told me it felt like a deep breath of air after holding in their breath the entire morning, waiting on news from Governor Stitt. Earlier in the day, the mood was far less joyous. Many of the protesters held strong in their beliefs that Governor Stitt would intervene, but many others were anxious and worried about Jones. One of the protesters, Tiffany Dina Lofton, described an emotional roller coaster of worrying and then a sudden burst of joy and relief.
Life in jail is not a victory, but that life is a win. And we all have now another day, another opportunity to continue to fight for Julius. My emotions right now, I'm numb. I'm really numb. I don't really know what to feel or how to feel right now. I'm just relieved.
Lofton believes a big part of the decision to commute Jones' sentence was all the public outcry surrounding the case. Live in McAllister, Grant Stevens, Oklahoma's own News on 6.
Another protest was happening at the state capitol, and the tone of that quickly turned when the governor's office released the news of the commutation. News on 6's Emery Bryan was at the capitol when that announcement was made.
Here at the state capitol for several days, there have been vigils and protests about the planned execution of Julius Jones. With the governor's word coming down this afternoon, there's been a lot of celebrating going on. These is a group of community organizers, a lot of them kids, a lot of high school kids from Oklahoma City. This gentleman that's talking to them is telling them they need to take this opportunity to not only celebrate what happened here today, but also to stay engaged. They need to vote when they get old enough. They need to pick the right elected leaders, and that they need to stay engaged. Come to the Capitol.
You've been here day in and day out.
Earlier today, a state representative from Tulsa was talking to this crowd, and she told them this is a place they should be coming regularly to stay engaged in the political process.
For 22 years, the Jones family, they've conducted themselves with grace and strength. They believe in the innocence of their son, and that is why we are here. We do not believe innocence should be executed. We believe he deserves justice, and that's why we're here.
With a victory under their belt, a lot of these people that have been energized by the Julius Jones case now say they plan to be more engaged, to be more involved in the political process, and they think they'll be able to carry this social justice movement forward in Oklahoma. At the state capitol, I'm Ray Bryan, Oklahoma's own News on 6.
Everyone's out here for a reason, and it's really important. It shows that we care and that we want the world to be a better place.
Hundreds of students at Tulsa Public Schools walked out of class this afternoon to show their support for Jones. The middle school principal at the Tulsa School of Arts and Sciences tells News on 6 they will always support students who choose a positive, safe, and respectful way to voice their concerns.
An Oklahoma City pastor says he has been a supporter of the Jones family and urged Governor Kevin Stitt to spare the life of Julius Jones. News on 6's Mike Glover was with him when he got the news today.
Pastor John Reed has been the pastor at Fairview Baptist Church for 59 years. And in that time, he's been a community activist, and he's seen his share of protests.
This protest has most certainly remained peaceful.
Pastor Reed has been heavily involved with Julius Jones's family throughout the entire process. So when word came down of the commutation, he couldn't believe it.
Everything this morning that you've seen, even on the news media, made you feel that it was going to happen. You get the news that the governor has made the decision to save this young man's life. What a great day.
Pastor Reed has a special message to the Howell family.
I would say to them, we most certainly continue to praying for their strength and all. It's been a long 22 years.
And as celebrations begin, he has a special message for Julius Jones supporters.
We asked everyone to remain peaceful and most certainly lawful.
He calls for respect and says now is the time for healing, and there's only one way for that to happen.
Prayer works. No question about that.
Now again, Pastor Reed reiterated his appreciation to the governor and understands it was a very difficult decision to make. I'm Mike Glover for Oklahoma's own News on 6.
The city of Tulsa held its final naturalization ceremony of the year today. The 20 new citizens are from 13 different countries, including Burma, India, and the United Kingdom. The city of Tulsa says that during today's ceremony, it surpassed 600 naturalized citizens since April of 2019, when the city began having these ceremonies.
All right. Welcome to Jinx America, and we are getting ready to turn on Christmas lights. It's been a cold day. We had sunshine, but temperatures struggled to make it into the low 50s. We do have a freeze warning in effect for tonight, but it kind of makes it feel good outside. A little bit later on, we'll talk more about the specifics of the freeze warning and also when you can put on your own Christmas lights. Right now, Mayor Box is going to join me. Mayor, it is time to turn on the Christmas lights. Are you ready?
We're ready, buddy. Let's do it.
All right. So here we go. We're going to do a countdown. Everybody ready? Yeah! Here we go. Let's start with it. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, the Christmas lights have come on in Jinx America, and so again, looking good. Hey, Mayor, just wanted to ask you real quick, what can folks expect tonight?
Well, look, the weather's great, as you've already mentioned. We've got great live entertainment, good food, hot coffee, everything you need to get you in the Christmas spirit right here until 8 o'clock.
All right, so come on down if you want to till 8 o'clock. We have more on the weather and the Jinx Parade coming up on Saturday. All the weather information coming up shortly. Back to you guys.
All right, Travis, thank you very much for that. Some celebrities across the country are reacting to Governor Kevin Stitt's decision to commute the sentence of death row prisoner Julius Jones. News on 6's Jonathan Cooper will have more of our team coverage.
And later in sports, we have a preview of this week's game of the week between Broken Arrow and Union. We are getting more reaction tonight on Governor Kevin Stitt's decision to commute the death sentence of Julius Jones to life without the possibility of parole.
Jonathan Cooper has more of our team coverage with reaction from the Attorney General and from activists who support Jones. Jonathan?
Greg and Lori, this case has been making international headlines with celebrities, athletes, and some politicians being outspoken about it. Kim Kardashian West has been a prominent voice campaigning to get Jones off of death row, even meeting with him. After the governor's announcement, Kardashian went on Twitter saying, quote, "Thank you so much, Governor Stitt, for commuting Julius Jones' sentence to life without parole and stopping his execution today." Kardashian says she spent most of the day yesterday talking to Jones and that he refused his anti-anxiety meds because he has a clear conscience and did not want to be drugged up. She says Jones also told her to share with her 70 million followers that he was hanging out with the wrong crowd, and that landed him in the position he's in today, and he wants people to do the right thing. Meanwhile, Oklahoma Attorney General John O'Connor released a statement saying in part he respects the governor's decision, but a thorough review of the evidence confirms Julius Jones's guilt and the death penalty was warranted. He goes on to say he is praying for Paul Howe's family and, quote, "Our office will continue to work for justice and for the safety of all Oklahomans, including families like Paul Howe's." Jonathan Cooper, Oklahoma's Own News on 6.
It's going to be another chilly night across our Osage Casino Skycam network. Travis will join us live from the Lights On event in Jinx with a look at some great fall weather for the weekend.
Plus, we'll tell you how much longer you can enjoy Broken Arrow's Christmas celebration that's going on tonight. The city of Broken Arrow is kicking off the holiday season in the Rose District tonight.
It's a Wonderful Life in Broken Arrow is happening right now. It runs until 8 tonight. You can do some Christmas shopping, enjoy some live music, go ice skating, and visit Santa Claus.
From the Bob Mills Weather Center, the Oklahoma weather expert, Travis Meyer.
All right, once again, welcome back to Jinx, and we have the Jinx Trojan Air Choir that is right now performing. I'm going to get out of the way so you can just watch them for a second. And they get to travel around some, but really since COVID hit, they haven't been able to travel a whole lot. But these guys have put in so much work. December 10th, they do have a special event here at the high school coming up. We're on Main Street, by the way, right now. And so it is going to be a lot of fun. Speaking of which, it's not so much fun tonight unless you just want winter weather and getting it cold. But I kind of had a few plants that I think I'm going to have to go put in again. We're going to try to save them one more time. We do have freeze warnings in effect. So our weather map showing that across much of the southeastern parts of our viewing area from I-44 to the southeast right now has freeze warnings in effect through 9 o'clock in the morning. So if you are green, great, cover it up so you can stay green. And we do have a partial lunar eclipse, and that was going to start happening at 12:02 a.m. so just after midnight tonight. That's going to go until 6:03 in the morning. The main viewing, though, would be from just after 1 a.m. to just before 5 a.m. and of course the maximum would be at 3:02. So if you get a chance, check that out. Because if you're into astronomy at all, you're going to want to do that tonight. Speaking of which, tonight, though, we're just chilly, and it's perfect weather to be out here in Jinx. We're at 48 degrees. We have an east wind at 3, 29% humidity. Dew point's so low, it is very, very dry air. Pressure's falling at this moment. And we're talking about tonight as well. With the cold weather, temperatures will be falling off into the 20s in many areas. But on Saturday here in Jinx, for the first Christmas parade of the season, it's going to be pleasant. It'll be cool. We'll be in the 50s. But again, I hope you come out. We have a lot of folks coming out. We have a lot of our weather team coming out, a lot of our storm trackers, and some of those will be available during and after the parade. So say hi to a lot of our folks if you would. Also, right now, we're talking 40s. We're falling off quickly. Here in Jinx, we're already down to 43. Last hour, we were at 51. And you see temperatures all across the map of Oklahoma, generally in the 40s, down to 37 at the airport reading in Bartlesville. Later tonight, freeze warning is in effect, again, for southeastern Oklahoma. And the reason it's not in effect for the northern parts is just because we've already froze, so most all areas north of I-44. But we're going to all be cold. We'll all be frosty in the morning. And by the time we get to the afternoon, winds are going to pick up out of the southeast, and temperatures will be moving into the 50s to upper 50s. So a good day, just a little bit breezy. And for the high school games and playoffs, it's going to be pretty good. Saturday's a big day. Temperatures will be in the 60s, gusty winds. And of course, we have a lot of events scheduled as well. And so if you get a chance, enjoy that. And Christmas lights and all that putting up. Sunday, cooler as a cold front comes in. We'll be back down in the 50s with north winds blowing through. And we're also talking about temperatures that are going to continue to not be too bad, though, as we start to head to Thanksgiving. Our rain chances, unfortunately, pick up a little bit on Wednesday night and continue into Thanksgiving as the storm system goes across Texas and southern Oklahoma. Could be enough to get us wet and colder on Thanksgiving. We're looking at temperatures changing right around Thanksgiving. And so we could be 60s to 70 in parts of the area, while some of the rest of us will be in the 40s to 50. So once again, it's a day in which there will be a lot of dramatic change for some. Our specific forecast right now, we're back into the 50s with a chance of rain and a few areas of thunder possible. So don't be surprised there. And also Black Friday, if you love to shop till you drop, chilly, 40s, maybe 50 if we're lucky. So all right, so one more thing to notice as well. Our forecast is looking like this for tonight. We're looking for chilly weather, obviously. We're dropping quickly, and some of us will be in the 30s here shortly, like here in Jinx. 30 in the morning, 20s in many areas surrounding the area, so we'll all be freezing, 52 at noontime. And the extended forecast, if you missed the forecast, really it looks pretty good. This weekend looks great. Craig mentioned a little bit ago for fall forecast, should be fantastic. We have the Jinx Parade, we have the marathon going on, and we're looking at temperatures in the 50s, a little cool on Monday, and then a chance of rain as we go on toward the Thanksgiving, and not too bad. So again, from Jinx, America, with the Christmas lights on, the season has begun, I guess, officially. That's a look at weather. We'll be back with more coming up.
Driven by your Oklahoma Ford dealers, this is News on 6 Sports with Jonathan Husky.
Sooners looking for a third straight win to start the season, visiting East Carolina tonight. Tip off about 20 minutes ago, and the Pirates out to an early 15-14 lead over Oklahoma. On the road without their leader tops the executive home sports desk tonight. The Thunder take on the defending champs tomorrow without their head coach. Mark Daignault away from the team this road trip as he and his wife are due to have a baby. Steve McGehee is there though, and he's got a brief.
The Oklahoma City Thunder are in Milwaukee tonight, leading up to tomorrow night's matchup with the Bucks, who, by the way, knocked off Russell Westbrook and the Lakers here last night. The Thunder arrive in Milwaukee -1. Head coach Mark Daignault did not make the trip. In fact, he's expected to miss all 3 road games for good reason. His wife Ashley is expecting their first child. The Thunder currently 6-8. His assistant Dave Bliss will take over in his absence. And what timing for Dave. His first stint as an NBA head coach will be in his home state of Wisconsin. And no easy ones for Dave, with Milwaukee tomorrow night, at Boston on Saturday, then Trae Young and the Hawks Monday night in Atlanta. From downtown Milwaukee, Steve McGehee, Oklahoma's own News on 6 Sports.
The Golden Hurricanes bowl hopes still alive after surviving a late charge from Tulane last week. Next up is Temple at home Saturday. TU's a 3-touchdown favorite, and Philip Montgomery wants to see his team play that way for 60 full minutes.
I'd like to see us do a better job of putting teams away when you have the opportunity. We've got to seize the moment when it comes to that and be able to extend and, really take some of the hope out of the other side.
The Oklahoma State defense has gotten better all season long. 2nd in the nation in sacks, 3rd in yards allowed, 8th in points allowed. Jim Knowles deservedly gets a lot of credit as defensive coordinator. And earlier this week, speaking with Fox college football analyst Joel Klatt, Mike Gundy said he hopes Knowles sticks around a while.
He's changed some concepts and schemes based on our personnel and the teams that we play in this league. And he's done a great job. I'm looking forward to signing him to a long-term contract after this season, keeping him with us. He's settled in here in Stillwater, really likes the community, and obviously the people here are really fond of him.
Union and Broken Arrow square off tomorrow night for our Tulsa Tech game of the week in the 6A1 semifinals. The Redhawks took the first meeting 38-28 back in September. Now, lots changed since then. Both teams have new quarterbacks. For one thing, Union head coach Kurt Frederick understands that this will be an entirely new Tiger team they'll face tomorrow night.
We played that game so many weeks ago. It's almost like a different season this time. So I think there's a little bit you can pull out of it, but I don't think there's a lot.
That's one of the games I'm really interested in. Broken Arrow kind of struggled at the beginning of this season. You kind of wondered what you were going to get out of them. And then they've turned it on. And
now
here they are, a win away from playing for a state title. Union again shut out against Jenks, but then turned it on after that. Here we are, a win away from playing for a state title.
And some other big games too, right?
Oh, I mean, we got games all over the place. Bixby's, of course, on the road in the 6A2. The smaller schools are a week behind, so we're quarterfinals and 4A on down. So we got we're ending the OFFFB next week, or tomorrow night, I should say. But we're ending it strong.
Yeah, for sure.
Looks like it. All right. Thank you, sir. We appreciate you being here with us at 6 o'clock this evening.
Travis will have all the details about your forecast later coming up tonight at 10. Of course, he says tonight enjoy, but it's going to be cool. And then a great weekend ahead. We'll see you tonight at 10.